Okay, we got this decision yesterday afternoon. I've had some time to process. I am not coming at this hot. So there are some knowns and there are some unknowns. I will tell you what I can because some of this is still protected by confidentiality. There are other things that are not. We received a 2-page letter yesterday with the decision. We do not know the vote, but the language was very confusing. We called our advisor to ask for some clarifications. We were told that everything was rejected, but the language that we received doesn't look like that. We have a meeting with the AMA in 35 minutes to really get some clarification about what the language said. So for now, we're moving ahead with everything was rejected. We already knew that the original application A, which you all commented on, was going to be rejected. They weren't even entertaining that discussion at the meeting. I've said this before. We feel like option B was good because we were never going to win option A with what we faced in that room during the meeting. Well, I'm glad that we had option B to go with. I think the SLP community did a really good job speaking up, standing up, fighting for this. We always knew any type of win was a long shot. They really, really favor the associations. What is really unfortunate is the American Speech Language and Hearing Association does not operate like a normal membership organization, right? There's levels of bureaucracy everywhere, but the crap that goes on with ASHA is unmatched, right? They don't always appear to have our best interest at heart. Often their focus is money. I said this in my debriefing. The only reason we were allowed to do what we did was because they actually didn't follow the rules because they thought they knew better. There are many layers of protections in place because then anyone could come out of the woodwork and do what we just did, and they would always be spinning their wheels. So that is why what we did is done so rarely, because membership associations typically follow the rules, right? Ours didn't. Surprise. So we were the underdogs. Something like this has only been successful one time, and that was with maternal fetal medicine, and everybody loves the babies, right? Rejected means we didn't win. Option A didn't win. Option B didn't win. We are right now facing what ASHA passed with nobody's input in September. This is in ASHA's hands. They're driving this truck now. Straight into hell. Sorry, I was going to try not to swear. I'm tired. I won't swear again, I promise. By the way, that's just my opinion. The language that we all fought for will not be there. We knew it wasn't going to be in the code descriptions, the definitions, because by the end of the meeting, the Dr. Ferry who would speak, everything went away. But we did quite a bit of work with the introduction, which would give us something to lead into with denials. No descriptor language that was discussed in the AMA meeting, like in the paragraph, was approved. So where do we go from here? We have a powerful community. This feels like a defeat, but also this is the start of something bigger for SLPs. Fix SLP was already making moves. We were already changing laws. We were already getting Medicaid adjusted. We were already doing things. We had years of stuff before this happened. We were already organized, which is why we were in the position to do what we did. The AMA never received that many letters during an open comment period, ever. Never. What we did was unprecedented. Our little profession that no one knows what we do. You know what we do? You know what we showed them? We know how to rally. So we did that. That is a win. Okay. There's still a lot of fights in this field. We came together in a huge way. I suspect they've never had that many people attend before either, although we don't know that. So then there are options now moving forward. Our application team was given options. Some of those deadlines are very, very tight. We have spoken to legal counsel, not Fix SLP's legal counsel. I am not funding any lawyers for this thing. Our money is being used for legal counsel for the lawsuit that I was about to bring you before this all started. We'll get there when this is done. That's on pause. But these organizations have legal counsel. They have already been consulting what our legal options are, and there are some, but there might be some other things that we need to do first, because that's always the first thing people go to. Can we sue? Class action? Class actions are very expensive and they're very hard. So that's probably the last thing on the list. But there are some other options. There are some that we are going to keep close to the vest. I really just want to say some of these things, but Ash is watching. Hey guys, hey Renee. We're not going to put out there what our strategies are and give them a head start. So we have some options that we started exploring from the beginning. From the first post, we knew what we might do. So we were ready. We're going to meet with the AMA. We are going to make sure we are very, very clear on what our options are. And then when it is ready to do something again, we will bring that to you. I know we want somewhere to put this rage. If you want to go rage online, go for it. Or rage at me in messages. I will listen to you. But now is the time to keep rallying and coming together. No amount of screaming online is going to change what just happened. So we need to focus on the next steps. One next step that I'm going to keep you abreast of now is going to be a letter writing campaign to CMS. CMS does have a public comment period. The valuations have been set. We know some of them. CMS either needs to accept or reject. So in that process, when they do this, there is a 60-day open comment period that is public, I believe, that we will send you to. I was meeting with the team just before this. I told them, this community is behind us. And if we did $950 at the beginning of it, CMS is getting way more than $950. ASHA will post their little form letter, whatever. Follow ASHA if you want. But we will give you all the information and we will help you through it. So that's coming probably not until July. So there's a lot of time between now and when that's going to happen. So there may be a pause. We will be working behind the scenes with some of these other options. One of the things that we can do is appeal, which is the cheapest and simplest way. And I think leading up to a lawsuit, it would make sense to appeal and lose that too. So I can almost assure you we will be submitting an appeal, and that is one of the deadlines that comes pretty quickly. Right now, people want to know, what does this mean for my practice? What does this mean for my future in the field? What does this mean for my business? What does this mean for my employers? Oh, I do see this question. Out of those 950, did anyone speak in favor of the changes? ASHA did. They sent a letter. There were maybe 10. And, that was expected. There's always going to be ivory tower residents sending letters. Almost every single one of them were in favor. And also, there were like 2 people in the meeting, besides that one doctor who clearly was breaking rules, I think. Everyone who spoke in the meeting was for it. For us, not for ASHA. So, ASHA's codes, the 5 base codes, and their code family, people were really confused by that. Families are related, right? So the speech base code and the speech add-on, they're related. They're a family. Okay, that's the language I made up. The 5 bases and the 5 family members have already been published in the RUC packet. The RUC packet is like 3,000 pages long. If you go to fixslp.com, there is a 92507 tab. I pulled out like the 147 pages that apply to speech pathology. The codes, the code definitions, the times, they're all in there. And the definitions, you guys are looking for huge paragraphs. They're like 2 sentences following. the codes. So that's what moves forward. What we don't know are the values, and we don't know the NCCI edits. If you don't know what those are, head to my YouTube. I've already posted like a 5-minute video on what that is. That's not coming out until fall. So valuation is the next step. These codes have been valued by the RUC. We know what some of them are. Now CMS either needs to accept them or reject them and make their own. ASHA has set the stage that me, and our application team and Fix SLP has now made it impossible to negotiate. Give me a break, okay? In this negotiation, you're all going to speak up. If anything, we're helping them, right? We're helping them. You hear that, ASHA? We haven't made it impossible for you to negotiate. We have 70,000 people behind us, okay? So that will be the next step, is to send letters to CMS. Not yet. Again, when we say go, when that comment period opens, we will have resources for you. Likely will be in July. We could make more money. Times will have to change. You might have to do a 32-minute session. That was never changing because option A was rejected from the start. You know this is coming. So start thinking creatively. You don't have to close your business, but you are going to have to change how workflow and management happens. But we could end up with more money. So with a 32-minute visit, we could end up with more. Again, I know some of the values. Not every code is going to make us more, but we could come out okay on this if CMS accepts what's put forward. We'll do our part behind the scenes legally. So as we're doing that, we will keep you up to date. But again, you don't need to scream at ASHA. It's not worth your time or energy. If you're going to put your energy into something, get behind Fix SLP, get behind ABSPA, the Private Practice Association, go join them. It's cheap. They do stuff. You have to be a private practice owner. They are a co-applicant on this, and they are taking action. Support this team so we can get the work done. We will keep you up to date. Yes, this is a loss and it sucks, but we knew it was probably going to happen, which is why we were preparing from the beginning for whatever came next. I still have 4 or 5 educational videos that I haven't posted. I was trying to do every other day. Today is one of those, so you might see that later. And Rick Gowenda is coming on the pod. I think we're recording on Monday, so that should be a Tuesday podcast where you'll get to hear Rick again, and we'll talk through some of these implications and what he has to say. If you don't know who that is, he is one of the leading billing and coding experts for OT, PT, and speech in the country. So we're so lucky that he's taking his time to join me for a 3rd time. So just stay tuned. This sucks. It feels bad, but it's not over. So for all of you supporting, sending coffee, I shared lots of words of encouragement with the team because a lot of them aren't on social media or aren't in the spaces that we're all in. Everybody appreciates your support. And we're just going to keep moving. Not every single thing's going to be a win. This is a battle. And one thing that I've been wanting to say before I sign off is this is going to help everybody understand what we've dealt with here. Is the AMA is a private membership association. They operate very much like ASHA. So think about what ASHA does, AMA, on a larger scale with more powerful people and more money. And that's what we were up against. CMS, different thing. Everything has to be public. Now that's government, right? But it's its own thing. But not everything is going to be secret with CMS. So we've got options. We're going to pursue them. I've kept you long enough. Stay tuned. We'll have more content. This sucks. Ignore ASHA. CMS is next. All right. Thanks for jumping in so quick, guys. You'll see me again soon.